I don't even trust this guy to be my teacher, dude. I don't even trust this shit.
You're about to forget.
I know.
What's this under the influence? No.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Huang,
And I'm On,
and this is DUI.
a show about creatives talking about their influences under the influence.
This is episode 2 with Hector Silva.
Whatever Chris is to all my compadres.
Ready? 100%. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ready? All right, welcome to the show. So our guest today is fresh from the south side of Chicago, right? Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the Bay.
Welcome.
Hector, 6'2", beautiful, brown, smart, educated, also an educator. He's 7 years into the game. He is currently
He's our
professor.
amigo.
Yeah, he is our amigo.
For sure.
Salute. So he's 7 years into the game. He's currently a professor at Academy of the Art. He is also executive director at Advanced Design, right? He has thrown 3 Square One design conferences.
Yep.
Total attendance at around 2,000
Yeah.
professionals and students coming together. He's also holding you're on the second offsite
Cohort.
We'll get into
cohort
those.
masterclass. We'll get into that.
Yep.
Kind of connecting and bridging the gap around the world, right? Your students range from students from all over the U.S. to France to Germany to the Philippines to Canada to Mexico,
Yep.
Globally.
Antarctica.
Globally. Cheers to that.
Alaska.
Cheers.
We've been
Alaska.
This is a lot, but
Hey, not only that though, he is the host and creator of Context, the podcast, 75 podcast in, right?
Yep.
About 10K downloads and listens a month at least. Also stacking awards like Pokemon cards. Young
God.
Educator of the Year.
Two
award,
Charizards.
right? Young Educator of the Year. Special
Special.
Achievements Award by the IDSA. He's also holding 2 Core 77 Design Awards for the work that he's doing with advanced design and some personal work.
That's right.
So accolades on accolades. Welcome to the show, and it's an
I
honor
appreciate
to have
it. Thank you so much.
hey, welcome to the show. Cheers.
you. Yeah, welcome.
Cheers to that.
How does that feel just to have everything listed out like that? Like as he's
I'm probably
telling-
missing more.
Yeah, it's weird because I got to give credit to a lot of people. So
for sure. Your whole
just want to
team.
make sure
Yeah.
that credit is given to the team behind. Yep.
Yeah,
Shout out to the whole ADS
squad.
crew and everyone
Yep.
behind.
We'll probably flash all their photos up here then.
That'd be
And
great.
Just like
Let's do
say shout out to the squad.
Yep.
Before we start, can I show you a photo?
Yeah. Show me a photo.
Is this your wardrobe? I'm gonna flash that up on screen. Is this your wardrobe?
This dude,
Yeah,
like,
technically, I guess.
This is how I imagined
Is
it.
that Jony Ive underneath
What
my
is going
photo?
on here?
dude, we've hung out with this guy, like, I don't know how many times, and every time he pulls up, it's always blacked out. Come on, man.
It's like a photo of you, Jony Ive, a ton of black shoes, and
Yeah,
all black
it's a
clothes.
bunch of
'Cause you
Yeezys.
all you do is wear black clothes. I think everyone wonders that.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't wear the same black clothes. I do have
Sure.
multiple pairs of underwear and shirts and pants.
No one could tell.
But it is a uniform.
I think Steve Jobs does that, right?
Yeah,
You're just
Steve
like,
Jobs
just
had
like
a
keep
black
my
uniform.
jeans,
Yeah,
some
Yeah, keep my
efficient.
New Balances.
Efficiency.
efficiency, so I can focus on like
My work.
more interesting and
Except for my shoes, I kind of.
Wait, so you're saying?
Yo, he's wearing Allbirds.
Hey, so you're saying?
They're comfortable, man.
So you're saying your work is so great that your clothes could just take a back seat, or what? Come on, homie.
Dude,
I'm just hating.
Hector, welcome to the Bay. How's your week been?
It's been going great. Yeah, I've just been working from home. Obviously, I've been here for a week, so just been being very efficient at doing my job. And like I said, I've been the most efficient from working from home because of COVID. So
You
Really?
sure you efficient? Who's judging?
no, it's
Whoever's
just
his boss,
Yeah.
he's efficient. Lying.
yeah, no. I mean, I think because of COVID, as awful as COVID is, the silver lining is that I've been able to bring more people together, believe it or not, because now we're on a global scale. Everyone's online, everyone's working together, and everyone wants to be engaged, right? So they miss that human-to-human connection.
Yeah.
And that's where I found the opportunity.
Yeah. What's that opportunity? How are you creating sort of that connection and that atmosphere for people to come together?
Yeah, so a month into the pandemic, my team was like, oh, you know, like, I guess we can't do anything because we can't have in-person events. And I was like, on the contrary, this is where we double down because everyone else is going to have that attitude. Right. We are going to triple our work, our efforts, and we're going to bring more content, make design education accessible 100 times, you know, more than what we were already doing prior to COVID. Yeah. So by just providing all these services, right, for free at no cost, opening doors for everyone, connecting people. So yeah, like as soon as COVID happened, like I said, as awful as COVID is, the opportunity for me was like, bam, like this is perfect, right? It's just, I don't know.
Here, let's cheers. Cheers to this.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
I'm
any
thirsty.
like.
Look at me. I'm just over here.
You don't have to worry about any insecurities.
Dude, this episode, this guy is drinking way more.
Salute.
Chris is behind the camera. He notices it.
Yeah.
Well, so we created some cards that we call a trip down memory lane.
Yep.
And this will talk about your process and a little bit about your history and a little bit about like everything you've been involved in, and you know, it's all implicit through these.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's talk about that because you know, like for the viewers, maybe some people don't know about all the programs you started, and we could get into that. But like, what better way than just through the cards?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Tell us about this first card.
Oh snap! That sketch is a sketch that got me in trouble right after I graduated school.
What is this? What are we looking at?
You're looking at a Nerf football. So right after I graduated school, I thought it was a hot shot, sketching, and obviously this was before social media. But I was on a team at this invention firm, and our client was Nerf, and they told us you have 2 weeks to come up with concepts.
Right.
And I spent a good 4 or 5 hours sketching one image, making it look kind of glorifying, you know, sketching, and showed it to the team, and they're like, what have you been doing for 4 to 5 hours? Yeah. This is what I showed them, and they were not happy, and this was my first kind of like...
They're not impressed?
Is this a normal process? How did you do
Absolutely not. Like this was done like digitally, Sketchbook Pro.
Nice.
And obviously naive student who thought that this was going to be like, you know, they're going to be impressed by like, you know, the awesome sketching, right? And 2 weeks, you know, like every second counts. And this was my, I quickly found out that this is not how industry works, and you got to move fast, right? Like
this reminds me of a conversation I had recently with you know, like a student that just graduated, and I tell them, you know, at every level of your career, there's expectations for, you know, whether you're a junior or senior or principal or whatever level you are.
Yeah.
And at this level, you're expected for quantity versus quality.
Yeah.
You're expected to pump.
Yep.
You're expected to produce.
Yeah, but on the other side of it, I feel like you're fresh out of school, right? This is probably this is a pretty old project, but when you're fresh out of school, you're learning like digital sketching.
100%.
So you're like, fuck, man, let me flex my skills, right? Let me jump out. Let me jump out and go all in.
Yeah.
But like you know, like Wang said, like it was all about like pumping out, you know, quantity at the moment versus quality.
Yeah, but that's what you realized through this project, or was?
Yeah, I realized a bunch of things through this project, right? Like I realized that I was nobody, right? That I was a part of a team, and other people had other responsibilities, and I'm over here showboating like I'm still in school, right?
Cheers to failing early.
Cheers, absolutely failing, yeah.
Failing
absolutely.
early and failing hard. And failing
I totally, that project reminds me of how messed up I was.
Sometimes you got to get humbled fast for you to recognize to, like, you know, pivot and grow in your career.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's definitely an awesome opportunity. Jumping out of school, designing for Nerf. Like very often in our career, we're like, man, Nerf is such a fun company to work for. Like making
Yeah. When we drew this
Guns
card,
and different-
Anna and I were thinking about like, this is really about your career, thinking about you wanted to get into toys.
Yeah.
But to hear you talk about sort of you failing is more interesting for us because we drew this as like, oh, I remember Hector started in his career as like, I love to do, toys and I want to be in that space.
Yep.
But when I brought this up, I thought you were going to bring that up too.
Yeah.
But you talked more about like failing and sort of, messing up and then growing from that, which is really interesting.
Absolutely.
And it's still true. Like you started as wanting to do toys.
Yeah,
right?
no, yeah, I was in it for like 2 to 3 years. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can we move on to the next
Let's
one?
do it. Oh man,
What is this?
What are we looking at here?
this was a time also right straight out of school.
Hold on.
I was working at this invention firm that their job was to build toys and then pitch those ideas to the big companies like Fisher-Price, Mattel. They were hired by the Department of Defense to make a weapon.
Are you able to talk about this like that?
I'm able to talk about it because they've since published this information. And this weapon was done in-house and it shot rubber bullets, and when someone in the crowd got hit, the rubber bullet would explode into an ink color, and then the law enforcement would identify that person by, they were inked, right?
Yeah.
And so this was done internal and inside, and I was called on to come on as a designer to come build this in CAD and put it together. And I was like, just recently graduated. I'm like, okay, this is my job. I got to do it. This is for money, obviously. Like you, I graduated in a recession, so I was chasing security. I was
2009,
chasing money, right? And I quickly realized how wrong I was to chase this specific project. I should have said no.
Like breaching ethics a little bit.
Absolutely. Like looking back, I was like, oh, this is going to take forever to do. The turnover time for this was like 3 months. And as soon as I started prototyping it,
3 months is pretty fast.
as soon as I started prototyping it, like I had goosebumps and chills go down my spine. I was so uncomfortable because I'm not, this is just not my space.
Right.
And
Go ahead.
So like very often we work for places, and in a way it represents who we are, right? Like
Right.
like the agencies that we work for. So you
Yeah.
work for a toy company thinking that you'll be designing toys.
Yep.
So then when a program lands in that doesn't align with your ethics or your
Yep.
beliefs, very often, even in our career, sometimes projects land, and because you work there, you have to produce in that space. So how do you deal with something like that? Like when a project comes and it doesn't align with
it's
with
a
your
very tough choice you have to make.
Yep.
And
Right.
you need to decide, I'm doing this for my job or am I doing this
Yeah.
for my principles, right?
Yeah.
And this was tough. About a month later, I quit. So
Jeez.
I want to, so I like, as you're saying that, I want to put on the empathy hat and think about like the time, right? Like the
Yeah.
timing is 2009, recession.
Yep.
You're a new, freshly graduated
Yeah.
student. Like I remember how hungry you are and how desperate you can be,
Yeah.
and how like you are so desperate that you like would do any type of job.
Yep.
For me,
Yep.
I don't know
Absolutely.
for you, but I think
Yep.
it's like a very common feeling for people who are newly grads. You kind of you reach for whatever is available, and you kind of just do those jobs because they're like readily able to help you financially.
yeah,
And to see this and to
Yeah.
think about like you being put in that position of needing, like desperately needing something,
Yeah.
and then having to like create a weapon that is like ethically something you're not into,
Yeah.
and stepping away from is really interesting.
yeah. Because I'm in the shoes of the people protesting. That's me.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
where I fit in this picture.
I think this for me brings back an interesting thought. When I was working at Astor Studios, Brett Lovelady, shout outs to Brett, was that he always told us that like when you early on in your career, when you start, it's almost like working in a kitchen, right? When you work in a kitchen, you jump in, you always have to wash everyone's dishes. Like you
sure,
always
yeah.
have to start there, and sometimes it doesn't feel ethically correct. Like every now and then there will be programs that come in, but you still have to wash those dishes to kind of pave
Yeah.
your path and build
Absolutely.
your position.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So yeah,
Select it wisely.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
select wisely.
Next one.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Boom. What is this?
This is my boy Jony Ive.
What is this photo?
This is a
though?
picture I ran into
It's the same
him.
as the photo I had in your
I
clothing.
ran into
Yeah.
Jony Ive a couple years back.
Who
here.
is Jony Ive?
Jony Ive is probably the most prolific designer of our generation. If you don't know who he is, you should, because he designed your iPods, your iPads, your iPhones, your laptops, anything.
Fanboying.
Anything. It
Fanboying.
literally made Apple the $2 trillion company it is now. So you should know who this guy is.
But describe this photo.
But
What is this?
photo, and the reason why you bring up Jony Ive, why it means so much to me, is because when I was at one point, after being in industry for about 5 years, I was kind of going on a carousel, and I was like,
Right.
I need to change things up. I applied for this position at Apple to be a model maker,
Yeah.
and got an interview. Then I got asked to come back and interview again. At the same time, I was getting a little sick of being in industry. Just felt like I was doing the same thing over and over again. So I applied to graduate school
Yeah.
to go get my master's degree so that I
Right.
can go and teach. Believe it or not, the same week I got a response from Apple and a response from the school saying, hey,
Really?
do you want to come
That's
work
crazy.
at Apple, or do you want to come, we accept you into our graduate program, do you want to come to graduate school?
That's a pretty big decision. Dude.
Yeah, and after a couple days of talking to family and friends, I chose the latter. I ended up not taking Apple's position to be a model maker. That was, for me, that was like, okay, that was my foot in the door, and I went into education, and I haven't looked back. I have zero regrets.
Right.
So
Wait, who does that? Who says no to Apple?
someone who wants to make a small dent in the world. I feel like if I would have gone into Apple, I
Yeah.
would have just been kind of lost in the Kool-Aid. And
What year was this? When was it?
that decision happened in 2012.
Yeah.
I see. I had that like mindset of like I want to make a dent in the world. And in
Yeah,
the
I had
design
started to
world.
think, right, as I was working in the industry, I was getting a little exhausted, and it was just same thing over and
I
over
see.
again. And I was like, something needs to change. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over again, and I'm not doing enough for my community.
Yeah.
I see.
So if you really study design and psychology of design, there's like this root cause analysis.
Mm-hmm.
So if the root cause analysis of this is who hurt you when you were younger as an educator, like what was that tough teacher, or what was that like painful moment
Yeah.
that now you're like, man,
We all have
I
those
need to
hurtful
provide.
moments.
I need to
Yeah,
provide.
for sure.
I need to be the change in the world that
Yeah.
that I wish was there for me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what was that spark?
It was just undergrad. It was I didn't have a great experience. I was the kid that always struggled. The kid that I wasn't like an A student, so I always had to prove that I could, keep up with the best students in my class. And even when I went to school, my classmates were already 4 or 5 steps ahead of me because
I see.
their parents opened doors for them. And I'm this first generation kid who first to go to college in my family
awesome.
had to pave the path,
Yeah.
right? So.
We can relate to that.
Yeah,
Cheers to that. First
absolutely.
generation.
Cheers to that. Hell
Holy
yeah.
shit, yeah.
Damn. Little backstory you were telling us earlier too was high school. You had to wear clear backpacks, but you were too
That's
cool.
right. So
too
south side
cool.
of
So
Chicago,
you had
I
books.
had to wear
In
a
the
clear
south,
backpack
yeah.
because kids would bring in weapons and guns and knives.
Yeah.
So that's the environment you grew up in.
That's the environment I grew
So
up
design is almost like for us too. Design is like a luxury. It's brave to go into because, like, for our culture and our people, our guardian people who brought us up, like that's foreign. That's
Yep.
like not a money maker.
in. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Especially going into education. People know for a fact going into education you're not making money.
Nope. Exactly. So
Yeah.
another reason why it just my gut was like, you got to go into education. You can go to Apple and play it safe,
Yeah.
but you're going to do this for 40, 50 years, and
Fuck.
That's a bold move.
That's a
Yeah.
super bold move.
yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
To see where you're at today.
That's so crazy
Appreciate it.
though.
Yeah.
So crazy though.
I dig it.
All right.
Big moves. Next one.
Oh, so
Nice.
What's this grid?
What is this grid? I think personally, I threw this fire on just because, like, whenever I see you, you represent that, like, you're like a fire starter to us. Like all these icons here represent something,
Yeah.
and maybe you could explain that.
What you're seeing here is the ecosystem, the educational ecosystem that I built through my nonprofit called Advanced Design. So we offer different initiatives They all do different things. One's a podcast. One is promotes design literacy. One is a design conference. One is our online school called Offsite. One initiative is about well-being. Another one's our podcast. The other one focuses on prototyping. So
it's like an ecosystem.
This is
like
an
a complete
ecosystem that I
ecosystem.
built alongside with an amazing team.
Yeah.
Shout out to the squad again. Right.
And these are all independent initiatives that are running to provide in all different mediums. So you have podcasts, you have classes, you have conferences, you have reviews, you have, like connecting thousands of people together with students from around the world to have the access, to education.
It connects to 2012 when we were making that decision around like, should I go to Apple or should I like make a dent in the world? And I think this shows it. Is like these are a lot of dents in the world, and I was talking to yesterday when we were talking to Frankie and the group of Offsite students. Offsite is a cohort design course, accelerated design course, which Hector started.
Maybe you should tell us a little bit.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, Offsite is this awesome, rapid fire online design school that supplements your current design education. And where we live is when you leave school and when you're about to enter industry. So that's our sweet spot. Because as of right now, as an educator, there's a huge gap. Students struggle to go from graduating into industry. So we are in that sweet spot. We live there and we prepare students to level up their skills so that they can get jobs, internships, whatever they like to do.
Yeah. And Huang and I participate in the mentorship program.
And if anyone is interested in mentoring, reach out to
Yeah. And what's exciting is I'm mentoring Cal right now. Cal is a student, a new graduate from the Philippines. So it's awesome to hear his story at the other end of the world and being connected to the Silicon Valley and just being able to kind of walk through his process and learn about him, but also educate him at the same time through the offsite programs.
Yeah. And I mentioned this with the group yesterday, and I know I felt like I disrespect you in a way, but I was like, Hector is that classmate that is decent, but had a lot of potential. And you take your eye off of him a little bit. And I said this, like the tortoise and the hare story. And Hector's that type of person that like, if you took your eyes off him a little bit, he's so prolific at what he's developing that like, you just continually building that at some point you just become like a force to be reckoned with. And I was saying that to him, and I was like,
force to be reckoned with. Cheers.
No offense, but I was like, dude, you just keep doing that, and it's just like powerful. Cheers to that.
Yeah, and it's not in my agenda.
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I have to do.
Yeah.
Right, and I know that a lot of people will benefit from it.
Yeah. Which is like so amazing because just to, we spent this week with Hector here in San Francisco and just chatting up with you. And, your agenda is really about like, building the future of like what design is, and especially industrial design, but like you're integrating more, right? Like graphic design, branding, all those things. But just to see that is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, even through the offsite mentoring, the student that I'm working with right now, I'm learning a lot about myself. Like he's coming through with questions from his courses, and I'm like, how do I break some of this down to talk to you about it? And I'm like, oh shit, I'm learning so much about myself too. So.
All right, ready for the last one?
Let's do it.
Boom. What is this?
Who are these people that you're on
These
screen
people are some people that I look up to that we've had on our platform, either on our Lens webinar format or our podcast, or even on Offsite. These are some leaders in design.
These are people who we're even inspired by.
Big people.
Big shots.
That I've been able to get on our platform to inspire and motivate our students.
Who are some of them?
Yeah.
Maybe you could call some of them out.
You have Jeff Staples up there. You have Robert Bruner. You have Alberto Villarreal over there who works at Google. You have Pontus Walgren who works at Logitech. You guys know this guy right here. Brett Lovelady of Astro.
Yeah.
So
Isabel right here.
Isabel, yeah, absolutely. She works at Google, and
Nicole.
She's doing amazing stuff with her work. These people are people that are really hard to get on, because they're so busy and they're out changing our industry.
Yeah.
Right.
And they
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Cheers to
Cheers to them. Cheers to being creative. Cheers to making an impact.
Absolutely.
In the industry,
The one thing that I love about them being on our platform.
You gotta drink
is
some
that,
more because
yes.
I'm fucking wasted.
I've been refilling mine nonstop.
I
Let's
pounded 2 cans, one
got
cans.
you, I
I
got
can't
you.
even remember,
Cheers.
homie.
The
Salute.
Salute.
Salud. Great thing about them being on our
can't even
platform
catch.
is that
You got the breathalyzer.
it tells me a lot about their character that they
Yeah.
want to give back.
Right. Yeah.
And as busy as they are, and these people work for huge brands, huge
Yeah.
companies, that they're willing to talk to our students.
So what's crazy about this card that we just recently showed here was that
add the cat.
you have some crazy heavy hitters from
Yeah.
Google. Not only that, but there's Robert Bruner, who is, if I'm only mentioning because I'm in the ID space, and
Yeah.
he was an ex-Pentagram, right?
Yeah.
Went
He was
out
at Pentagram.
and
Bruner.
Without
Pentagram,
him, Jony
Bruner.
Ive doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right.
Apple.
Not
Yeah.
only that,
Or Beats.
yeah, and he after Pentagram, Ammunition, and because of Ammunition, Dr. Dre.
You got a
With the
pressable.
with the Beats,
Yeah.
you know,
they did.
before the Beats, there were no headphones. Consumers were not paying $300 for headphones, right?
Wait for it
so
to
so
come.
because of him, and you brought him onto offsite and provided this connection
Yeah.
worldwide to these people. So
I think what's really interesting is we talk about like your ecosystem and sort of the orbit of people in our lives, and sometimes 1 degree to 2 degree or 3 degree is like very important people, and this board shows in a 1 degree of separation you have the orbit of some pretty awesome people. Show that to the camera right there, that camera. You only got 0.1.
0.18.
I think also the thing with that board is that how much time it takes to get these people on our platform.
Right.
And I think people don't understand the value that they're bringing as much
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
Right.
we fill it up? Let's finish this before we fill up.
We talk to these
All right, let's
people
do
months
Baby
before the event.
salute.
Salute. Cheers.
Salute.
He keeps filling up, so we don't even know how many glasses we've had.
All right, so you were saying months before.
Yeah, it takes us months to talk to these people to get them on our platform, and then we have to convince them on why their time needs to be spent with us.
Yeah.
Right.
So for those who join our events, I promise you they're free, but I promise you it is worth
Yeah.
being there.
And to be honest, for context, when we went to school, we did not have this reach. We've never had this type of pull where you have this connection with these industry
For
heavy
sure.
hitters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this did not exist.
Can we take a moment to give you applause for that?
Yay!
People hate the clap track and the laugh track. We're gonna throw that in right now. No, that's
crazy.
dope. I'm gonna cut that.
All right, since we're on the topic of hate, let's move on to the next
Yeah.
set of cards.
Oh, awesome. Let's do it.
Bam! Why I hate my job.
Why I hate my job.
You've seen On's version.
Yeah.
So we're here to
A
ask
little
the
bit
hard
aggressive.
questions. We're here to ask the hard questions.
I'm here to answer them.
Yeah.
And hopefully they're hard enough for you. Right?
Let's do it.
Ready for the first one?
Yep.
Why you want to talk about this one? Because
Sure.
I'm a little nervous about this. Bam. Go ahead and read it.
What's this?
True or false?
I'll read it out loud.
True or false?
Teachers are designers who can't get a job.
True. Absolutely. It's so true.
Is it?
Yeah.
We threw this because I think industry standard, a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
But no.
And we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it.
this. This shit is hot.
This is a spicy question, or
this is
true.
true.
or false?
Absolutely.
True.
This is
Absolutely
true.
true.
It is very true.
Do you feel
Name
like
them.
Yeah.
Name some.
No, I can't,
Don't
I
do
can't do
that.
that.
Don't do
names.
that, man. Don't
The
do
best teachers.
Throw some names.
that. Don't do that.
The best teachers are working professionals as well.
Yeah.
The teachers who don't have a job are the teachers that got too comfortable.
Really?
Yep.
That is a fucking lie.
Bars on bars.
do it. For
Salute.
sure.
Yep.
That is true. I think there's a lot of like, you know, like when we went through CCA, there was
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
era. There's a lot of guys from Branch, Vox Clever, that guys that were at Fuse for ID stuff. You know, there's a lot of graphic.
Like they
people
were
that we
super
respect.
professionals that I was like,
And those were all adjuncts.
Yep.
I respect adjuncts more than full-time professors. Those are the people that get comfortable.
What's an
See
adjunct?
that?
Adjunct is someone who comes in from industry to give their time, either 1 semester or 2 semesters. They're on contract. They get paid pennies
Yeah.
to just teach 1 class. But those are the true heroes. Those are the backbone
I feel
of
blessed.
education.
I feel blessed. I had a
Yeah.
lot of
Those are the
adjuncts.
people
Yeah.
you're talking about from Branch and Fuse Project.
Yeah.
Those are the people. Those are adjuncts.
Those guys
Yeah.
were
Like they're working all day and then they come to teach
They
for
brought
a
us
few
up.
hours
Yeah.
and then they go back
you
to
know
work.
they're not doing it for the money.
Yeah, they're for sure
They're
not doing it
passionate
for
about
money.
it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
wild.
we
That's
we
wild.
got some offers at CCA.
Yeah, it's good to kind of address this because I feel like it's almost it could be poisonous, right? It could
Yeah.
be toxic to
Yeah.
the industry where like you don't have much
Let's hold that
experience
up
or you
so
have
we can see what's
you haven't dug too deep into the industry and then you jump out to teach without the experience, right? So I don't know. It's a good thing to bring up.
I'm in industry. I have no problem with that. Yep.
Man, I like your honesty. Cheers.
Cheers. My God, dude.
Let's do
Oh my
it.
God. All right, let's
Take a
do it. Let's
break.
do it. Let's do it. All right, here. I'll take
go.
this. I'll take this next. Bam. I can't see it, so go ahead.
All right, so since you're in in this space, academia,
Yep.
you know, how do you determine what a quality teacher versus someone who's just like, adding value?
What are like the attributes or the value propositions of a good teacher and a bad teacher?
A good
How do you feel
teacher is versatile.
What
you
does
go
that
to
mean?
that means you go to this teacher, he or she is knowledgeable in multiple things, not just a very specific part of design like sketching or I'm a CAD monkey. Right? This person is able to give you step back and give you the bigger picture of design.
Okay.
That is a great teacher, and that person knows how to get things going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's a bad teacher? Real quick before we jump to the
Bad
next
teacher is someone who is selfish.
one. Wait, but you're selfish.
I'm not selfish. Absolutely.
then our test
Education
pass.
is about student-centered design. We're here for the students.
Yep.
They need to succeed more than I ever did.
I see.
So,
So you are the team without the I.
yeah, your
Perfect.
job. Yep.
I think it's successful when, you know, the person that you're teaching and educating becomes better than you. You know, like that's the result that you want.
That's
Hey,
how
I
it
think
should be.
I think
Think
Huang
of our
is
parents. Think of
Yeah.
our parents. They came here. You need to succeed more than they did. That's their whole
absolutely.
plan.
I think
Yeah,
what Huang's hinting to is episode 1 where I pulled the P. Diddy quote. If my artists succeed, it's because of them. If they fail, it's because of me. Shout out
it.
to P. Diddy.
Shout out to P. Diddy.
Yeah,
Shout out to
shout out to Diddy. Man, it. Let's one more.
Shout out to
Let's
P.
go,
Diddy.
man. Yes. Hey, we need a new cameraman, man.
Yo.
And what you
All right,
just said
next
about-
question. Yeah.
What you just said about P. Diddy,
Yeah.
that's when the professor vouches for the student.
Yeah.
Ooh, you
That's-
vouch for students? Whew.
Yep.
Hey, so
And sometimes when you put your name on the line,
Ooh, that
it's-
is-
it's pretty valuable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as an educator, your whole career, right? Like you've taught students all your life. Have they ever taught you anything? Have you ever
All the
learned
time.
anything from
All
all the
the
time?
time.
Like what?
Yep.
Like what?
Give it a second example.
Yeah, give us. an
You
example.
always got to listen to everyone in the room.
Yeah, but have
Right,
they
so when
taught you like some personal things, like dig deep, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an example offhand, but as an educator, you got to have open ears because when you're doing your own work, you know, everyone's perspective matters. And
Yeah.
I learned
Yep.
that from your episode.
It's a lot of patience.
Yeah.
Dude, like I'm saying, you're the
Yeah.
offsite class, like I'm mentoring Cal and he's teaching me about branding because
Yeah.
I haven't dug deep into this.
Should be a
shit enough.
symbiotic
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, symbiotic.
It shouldn't be hierarchy. I know more than you do. Yep.
What's this one? Did we?
Right here, bam, next.
No, I don't
Okay.
think we got that.
No, we did.
No,
he
we
didn't.
didn't.
He moved on and he didn't read this one yet.
Oh
you
shit,
rather-
would you rather? Oh shit, man.
Guy is-
Hey man, no more drinks for me, man.
This
No more
guy
drinks.
is lit.
No more
Go.
drinks.
He is lit. He's like, no, we never touched it.
Oh fuck.
He's been waiting to
Oh
answer.
shit. All right, so
I mean, that's twice I died.
here. Let me rebuttal myself. So, would you rather a hardworking student or a gifted student?
Hardworking student any day.
Really? How about a
Absolutely.
talented one? Super
The talented
swag.
student
That's what I
the-
mentioned.
The talented student will get bored.
Do you think
quickly.
that's because I pointed you out as A earlier?
Yeah, that's me absolutely. Yep.
You can't just choose that.
No, I've not only was that me, but I seek out students that have potential
I'm going to be
all
devil's
the time.
advocate.
Please.
I know some people who have parents who are in design.
Yep.
They have sort of the leverage in the space.
Yep.
And they've excelled so much faster
Yep.
because they live, breathe, and have that sort of like
The privilege.
language
Yep.
and experience to just excel faster. It's the same way as when we think about Malcolm Gladwell's, the outliers.
Yep.
Around like the hockey player and the people who born in the months of January, where they like recruit hockey players that are in the first 3 months. I keep thinking of these people, and sometimes it's unfair. Like it's super unfair. But I get what you're saying, and I wonder if sometimes gifted people just have it better because they just have all the access.
Of course they do, but I wouldn't be in education if I ignored the hardworking student. If I just gravitated towards someone who's gifted, their parents open doors.
This guy is biased. He's only focusing on the hardworking student and not the gifted student.
If I only focus on gifted students, I absolutely have gifted students.
Yeah.
But I am so hard on them because I've experienced.
You need to expect.
I have high expectations for them.
You need to push yourself beyond.
Yeah, they come in as A students. They need to be like A++ students,
A
right?
plus,
in order for them
sure.
to impress me.
Yeah.
Right. They already come in and they're like, "Oh, I'm really good."
That's good that you have that mindset.
I'm bored, right? Show me like that you can impress me.
Yeah.
The hardworking student is going to do that.
That fucking makes sense. Cheers to that.
Hey, so here.
You only recognize that if you're in that space, and
You got to be a visionary, man.
no one said he's a visionary, dog.
Look,
not a visionary.
Nobody's.
Not a visionary.
I think while you were talking about that, though, I kind of thought of this was that, like, have you ever ran into a student that you felt, to be honest, like, we'll always run into these situations, but have you ever ran into a student that you felt was way more talented than you, that might be more skilled than you, and will become a better designer? And how do you treat those students, and how do you interact with them? How do you teach someone that you think will eventually be better than you?
Yeah, I have actually.
You have, yeah.
I have, and the one thing I want to do is make sure that their character is lined up with their values, and they're not arrogant, right?
Yeah.
So because that's very common in gifted students, right? Right off the get-go, they're like, I know I'm gifted.
question.
Yeah, because skill-wise, you could be crazy, but I feel like the kind of the moral compass side or the character side could always use a bit of development.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So
I like that.
Not to drag it on too much, but on to the next question. Last one. Would you rather a bad teacher in a good school, or would you rather be a good teacher but in a bad school?
I'd rather be a good teacher in a bad school.
Think so?
Yeah.
Why though?
Yeah.
Because that's going to give me purpose to go in there and change things from the inside, fight the machine, to go in there and, a bad school usually is underfunded, doesn't have resources, doesn't have support, and that's going to give me purpose to wake up every day and go and fight.
It's crazy because I keep thinking of his episode, and I'll bring it back, he would rather be a bad actor in a good movie.
Yes.
And that's the opposite here,
baby.
right? That's the opposite here, because you would rather be a good teacher in a bad school.
Is it the opposite?
I feel like it.
No, it's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's a bad actor in a good movie, right?
Yeah.
Because then the movie is iconic.
Yeah. So
right?
Salute.
I'm wrong.
And you were part of that.
Yeah.
Salute to that.
Salute.
No, I keep.
Give him a pass.
Like if Art Center reaches out and it's like, hey, Hector, come teach here, I'd be like, this is an honor, but you guys are set up. What value am I bringing to Art Center?
So that's what I'm saying, is that's a good school.
It is a great school.
Yeah. Is it a good school today?
Huh?
Are you
Is
better?
it a good school today?
Art Center?
Yeah, is Art Center or Offsite better?
Well, Offsite's not really like a full-on institution, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So.
But it's organic. You're like creating,
But we're asking that right now. Do you think if a student went to Offsite today versus Art Center, what's better?
It's really hard to answer because it's like apples and oranges.
Nah,
Yeah, but we want you
You
to
want an answer?
Yeah.
Offsite.
Ooh.
Why would I say Art Center? I'm not employed by Art Center.
it's a confidence here. I like that.
Yeah.
911. This guy bullshitting. No.
Dude, this is...
That's cool, though, man.
Yeah.
Honesty. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah. Like I'm super excited. I'm super excited about what the advanced crew does.
Yeah.
Like, to me, the question has always been like, who the sets out and builds an education system? Like who?
It's not a troubling question. It's like an inspiring thing that you're doing, and like I really appreciate it.
To answer your question, it's people who are frustrated.
Yep. Damn, that's
Were
facts.
you frustrated at a point?
Frustration creates innovation. right? So if you think of how our country was founded,
Yeah.
it's because people were frustrated with the shit that was going on in England,
Yeah.
right? They're like, screw this, forget taxes, forget religion, let's go start our own thing, right? Anything, any company starts from frustration.
Yeah.
That's how
Like
advanced design was
problem
built.
solving almost.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what he said around like, who hurt you?
Yeah, who the fuck hurt you,
Is that
baby?
part of it?
Yeah.
You know,
Like really quickly talk about some of the initiatives. Just start from the first one and then just go through all of them. And you do like a quick intro for all of them.
Let's
You
do
want
it.
me to do it? I can.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Man.
Okay, then
yeah,
I'll just
you
I'll
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's cheers to that. Let's go.
cheers.
All right. First initiative.
Bam.
Context.
Yep. What's that?
It's a podcast, and it's our way of providing additional education by these interviews where we interview designers from all around the world.
That's a podcast.
So it's a listening education resource
Got it.
podcast.
Next
Number
one.
2, Archive.
Yep.
Archive is we focus on design literacy. So we promote books.
Nice.
Because in the age of the internet, no one gives a shit about books, and there's some amazing books. So we photograph and we recommend books.
He went through our library and took a shit ton of photos this week. Snake.
I did.
Dude wasn't hanging out
Next
with us.
one.
He was hanging out with our books.
It was, yeah.
He's like, let me borrow your
Absolutely.
camera. Let
Yep.
me take some photos.
Yep.
All right,
ahead.
so
So
archive. Yeah.
that's our design literacy education
Nice.
initiative, right? Third one is Lens. Lens is our webinar that started literally at the beginning of the pandemic, and the
Sick.
purpose of Lens was to have a weekly webinar with a designer from anywhere.
Do you have a few designers you could call out real quick? Or?
So far, we have 60 episodes, and we've had you guys on Lens.
Thank you.
Right, we've
Thanks for
had
having us.
Spencer Nugent, we've
Yep.
had Michael DiTullo, we've had let's see, we've had Kelly Custer, we've had
All sorts of
of designers from all
professionals,
different backgrounds. Webinars are free; they're about an hour, and they're very specific on a very specific topic in design.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a visual initiative.
Shout outs.
Yep.
Dope.
Another one is Being, which is short for well-being. That's our mental health initiative, and that really covers mental health and well-being in design, because we're always talking about our successes, but we
Yep.
never cover our obstacles and our failures, and we use that
I think that's super important.
That's a
we
line.
use that initiative to talk about all sorts of things like imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
a vibe.
Absolutely.
That is a
wild.
vibe.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we get very vulnerable. We get very intimate with
Yeah.
that initiative. So another way of education, because at the end of the day, we're human.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Another initiative is Ready Set Proto.
Yep.
That is our hands-on initiative where we focus on prototyping,
Yep.
which is an essential part of our industry and our design process.
Yep.
And since the pandemic, we've held different things on how to prototype from home, and we feature designers, and this is how they do it, right?
Dig
So
it.
it's a very visual
Yep.
initiative, and it's all about promoting prototyping.
Nice.
Another initiative that we do
How many is there?
it's a lot. Outreach.
Okay.
And outreach, we collaborate with K through 12. So we go back to elementary and high school students, and we collaborate with these students, and we tell them that industrial design and graphic design and design in general
Is a thing.
is a path, is a career path.
Where were you when I was a little baby?
Yeah, right. Sorry, I didn't
needed
exist.
that.
I was your age, bro. I
needed
was a baby too.
I was crawling around looking for your ass.
I needed that.
So prior to the
I'm
pandemic,
looking for you, man.
prior to the pandemic, we actually had workshops in person,
Yeah.
but during the pandemic, it's all done online,
Yeah.
and we educate students that this is a career path that you can take.
Yeah.
So
That's wild.
yeah, and let's see what else I have. Obviously, offsite Square One, which is a design conference. That
It's a
was
little bit harder now.
yeah, Square One is, we're going to have one in 2021. It's going to be virtual. Offsite, which is our online design school, which I already talked about.
Yep.
But that's probably pretty much it.
Cheers to that.
Man.
All of
That's
those.
wild.
All of
A
those.
lot of initiatives.
This
Super
guy
impressive.
started out like 15 companies in 1 year.
Yeah, and to be fair, these initiatives were started through advanced design, but started by people on the team
Yeah.
because they
Yep.
are passionate.
Shout them
about
out.
these
Shout them
issues.
out.
Yeah,
Name 'em,
Shout
name 'em. Let's
Bethany
go.
Chan, Jamie Morgan, Michelle Betwell, Tiffany Doe, Dominic Montante. Man, so many people. Heather
Wang,
Tran,
On,
Miranda.
Heather,
Miranda Degg, Justin Cornelli,
Justin,
all
what's up,
these
man?
people. Without them, I'm nobody.
Yeah, and
That's dope.
And we don't even want to make light of the situation that like the team behind you is a super strong team.
Yeah,
super
solid
strong
team.
And
Super impressive, really inspiring people.
The team behind me, you know, like they've been there since the foundation of when we started.
Yeah.
Like this is no, this isn't like some type of.
They weren't riding your coattails. That's what you're saying.
Damn. Say all that.
No, I mean this isn't people who join our team for a year and then they quit.
Yeah.
These are people who are more than just volunteers.
Family.
They have an invested interest in what we're doing.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I'm desperate, man.
All right, let's throw on our shades real quick because there's a lot of shady questions on IG.
Man, just let me relax on this
Before
one.
this,
I'm a little scared.
Before this episode, I asked social media what kind of fucking questions you have for this guy. Actually, I can't even read it because these graphics are hurting. They're like just covering everything.
Let me see that. Holy shit, hella questions.
Yeah. What's the master plan for advanced design?
I can't reveal that. Come on.
What do you mean?
What, you too good now?
You too
No,
scared?
I can tell you. I mean, it's starting our school.
You already started school.
Online
offsite.
school is the first step. Second step is post-pandemic having a physical school.
Oh, so the school is the end goal. Is it for money or is it
Right
for...
now, it's just beta. We're learning. We're iterating. We're making it better.
So is
We
this...
have a team called the Experience Team. Their job is to collect data, talk to students, give them a voice, and how to make the best school in the world.
Oh shit, the question just came in my iWatch. Is this a get rich quick scheme or?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Then.
We're also looking at the
like that,
economics of education. How can we make it affordable to as many people as possible?
No, I like that.
To people like me.
No, I like that. I like that because our college education was super expensive, and for people like us, it was hard.
And
We had
did you
to get
guys have a
grants.
voice?
We didn't.
No.
I mean, I
We're
was
still
You
looking.
did have a voice, but we were like, oh, we're just gonna stay in our lane, even though we're paying $50,000 a year. That's bullshit.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Salute to that. Last one.
Good question.
Salute.
Last one.
Let's
Good
do it.
question.
Next chapter.
Answer,
Next chapter.
everybody. Shout outs. Thank you. We're gonna move on to the next section, and I'm gonna just play the card game right now. Assemble the squad, and here's how you play. There are 2 decks, a found and a need. Participants will draw a card from each deck and reveal it before them. Hidden inside the deck is a wild card. If you draw that, you're drinking. Here's where it gets interesting. The designated captain will select 2 cards from the cards selected. In our case, the guest is the captain. Now design and present your ideas. The worst concept, drinks. Now all you gotta do is repeat steps 1 through 8. Well, no. Now you're just drunk.
Oh, you picked 2 of the same cards. That's fine.
From each
Oh, it's my
deck.
bad. So I just picked
That's fine.
Here, I'll take this out and then go ahead. White card.
Found in your bag? What is this?
found on military base.
Oh, nice. Mine's found in this room.
Oh.
So as a captain, as our guest, you're the captain, you have to choose the best set for us to design around.
This one needs to reflect found in this room.
Hey, really? That's the hardest for you?
Yeah, I want to see.
Needs to reflect found in this room? It's f***ing right there, it's a mirror. Done.
Oh, 0.25.
Yo, 2.5, dude.
0.25. I'm f***ing out.
Is like
Found in his room.
It needs to
reflect. That's his choice, not mine.
On his forehead.
The first thing that came to my mind was a metallic mouthwash. So you could find this in this room, and I really think that if there was a metallic mouthwash, every one of Hector's beautiful smiles would be reflective of my own.
It's a mirror. This is the first thing you think about.
Hey, and my second one, Hector is an educator, so I need a picture frame that's also a diploma, but really it's a mirror, so I see how much I failed in life.
We looking at the lens. The big interview.
Oh, this guy's going. This is the worst ideas ever. I don't even trust this guy to be my teacher, dude. I don't even trust this shit. I don't trust this guy as an educator.
Hey.
It needs to reflect. It's a reflection of On and I. It's a fucking reflection of me and On. We need to check ourselves.
Oh my.
We keep thinking, you know, there's a sketch of the world revolving around us. It's not about us.
Wait. Why is it?
It is.
I survived. Design under the influence. I'm Hector Silva.
This guy's.
All right. My turn?